Okay, welcome to our series Survival Kits for Product Lifecycle. Today we are starting with a topic everybody in the product development knows. So it's about finding your way through the product data jungle.
Yeah, exactly. And we will look at how you can turn data chaos into clear structures and why that gives you your real competitive advantages in the end.
Picture product development is a dense jungle. Information's everywhere, CAD files in different systems, confusing bombs, constant product updates, and so on. If you lose track, things get messy fast. And that's where a good survival tool comes in place. Something that gives direction, makes things more transparent. And for our customers, you know that, the product data is incredibly valuable. So it's the pure gold, to say that. And without clarity, you get errors, delays, and a lot of unnecessary work.
Exactly. And having like a GPS for your product data in the end. And I guess this is why SAP ECTR, so Engineering Control Center, is great for that. Because with this tool, your data is always available and always transparent, up to date, and you don't need to take ages in order to search for it in the end.
So CAD files, drawings, bombs, documents, everything neatly integrated into the ERP system. No searching around, no version issues. Decisions get, let me say, faster and better then.
Yeah, let me maybe do a quick example there. That means as a mechanical engineer, I want to do a change for a part, and of course this change affects downstream processes. So I really want to know the impact of the change up front, as an example. So maybe there are, 50,000 sales orders waiting. That might not be the good point or might not be a good point in time in the end there to do that change, right? And I mean, in general, ECTR supports there automatically in the background. By means easy searching, finding, doing the change, and also incorporate these changes automatically when it comes later on to the BOM. So you can really focus on what's relevant for your product development, and everything is running smoothly.
Exactly, and that makes life easier for development, but also for purchasing department, production, everyone involved. And you have less coordination, more transparency across the entire life cycle, and more time for what really matters. So let's talk about innovation.
Yeah, sure. And when you're saying innovation, the interesting part is, all the aspects you just said were about PLM. And funny thing is, when people are talking about their survival tools and product lifecycle management, SAP is the first thing that comes to their mind. But ironically, most of the companies running their ERP system on SAP, but they don't link the SAP solutions together with PLM. And that might be a good point where to start with, because you don't need much of integrations into your ERP system, because you are already in ERP in the end.
And this is that what actually makes perfect sense. So SAP is like a central nervous system. So the ERP, the core ERP, with material management, production, and so on, and everything is connected. And PLM solution that is SAP based, so product data flows directly into all follow processes, and that becomes a true competitive advantage.
For sure. So before we wrap it up, let's give something practical. So if you're somehow interested now in what we were talking about, what's the best way to get started?
Yeah, we would say that's easy. So just drop us a line and we will set up a first consultation. And no pressure, So together we will find a survival kit that fits you best and show you where you can get quick wins.
So what does it mean now? Like in 3 simple steps, what might be the best way to start with?
I would say first is to build your survival kit.
Yeah, and after that, I would say it's of course the transparency, so that you know what you're actually working on.
Yeah, sure. And at least master product development.
Yes.
Thanks for joining today.